The Templemount, Judaism's most holy site, where the temple was built some 3,000 years ago. Jews have been praying in the direction of the Templemount since they were exiled from Israel. Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish nation for over 3,000 years of history. The first Jewish temple was built by King Solomon in the city on Mount Moriah in 960 BC. Jerusalem is mentioned in the Bible over 700 times. Mount Moriah is also the place where Abraham was instructed to sacrifice his son, Isaac. Here the covenant between the Jewish people and their God was established. According to Islam, this is the place from which the Prophet Muhammad rose to the sky in the 7th century, and the Dome of the Rock Mosque was built many centuries later in honor of the event. The Muslims claim that the mountain is their holy site, but is not holy to the Jews. Both mosques on the mountain, the golden and silver domes, attract masses of worshippers every year, strengthening the Muslim control of the mountain and preventing Jews from sanctifying their holy places. One of Israel's greatest fears has to do with work being done by the Muslim Waqf on the Temple Mount. Since 1996, the Israel Antiquities Authority has not supervised the construction at the site. The Committee for the Prevention of Destruction of Antiquities on the Mount has maintained that the construction work, the digging and building, causes irreversible damage to the archaeological treasures on the Mount. Discoveries corroborating the Israeli claim that the Mount is indeed holy to the Jews. During the past several years, more and more evidence to that effect has been accumulating. For the first time in 1,300 years, a third mosque has been built on the Temple Mount in the underground cavern of Solomon's Stables. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu authorized the construction retroactively in 1996. At the end of 1999, a 30-meter-long, 12-meter-deep pit was dug at the site, and thousands of tons of soil were removed from the mountain's grounds. Material from the first and second temple periods was lost forever.
אנשי רשות העתיקות מנועים מלהיכנס להר הבית ולמלא את תפקידם שם.
We are going to continue the work if they will not stop us.
יש פגיעה בעתיקות, נעשות עבודות בהר הבית שלא לפי הכללים המקצועיים.
The state refused to act for fear that riots would break out on the Mount. In addition, the Waqf is undertaking construction at the inner cavern of the Gate of Mercy at Midrasat Ashrafiyah behind the western wall. The state, once again, does not act for fear of rioting on the Mount. The Temple Mount tunnel riots demonstrate the great sensitivity every Israeli action on the Mount causes. The opening of the tunnel gates, defined by then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as the rock of our existence, led to severe riots and caused Israel diplomatic and political damage. That fear continues to manifest itself as the Netanyahu, Barak, and Sharon governments all turn a blind eye to the work. On September 22, 2000, violent clashes broke out when the head of the opposition, then Ariel Sharon, arrived at the Mount. The event sparked the current intifada, yet more proof of the explosive nature of the situation. Yasser Arafat asked to be buried on the Temple Mount, and his request was, of course, denied by Israel. In the meantime, thousands of Muslims come to the Mount every Friday for weekly prayers. These services are often the forum for wild incitement against Israel. According to many rabbis, Jews are forbidden from going to the Mount. Even those interested in visiting the Mount are refused by the Israeli police for fear of riots. The Temple Mount has been raised as a hot political issue in negotiations with the Palestinians over the past years. But by the time the Temple Mount's future is determined diplomatically, de facto control will already have been established by facts on the ground. The Waqf wants to wipe out any remnants of the Jewish temple and the Jewish people's history at the spot.